They say time is a river, but what if, for one sleepy, forgotten town, time wasn't a river, but a cage? And inside that cage, something ancient and sleepless is just waiting for the clocks to stop. This is the story of the watchmaker who holds the key. In a quiet little town, the kind with cobblestone streets and air that always smelled of lilacs, there lived a watchmaker named Elias. His shop was a small, easy-to-miss building with a faded sign that just read Elias's timepieces. It was his own little world of ticking clocks and worry gears. The gentle, constant chime of his work was like the town's heartbeat, a soothing sound that wrapped around everything. Elias was a man of routine. He'd wake up at dawn every single morning. As the first light spilled across his workbench, he'd brew a pot of strong coffee, its smell mixing with the scent of old wood and oil. And as he drank it, he would just listen to the symphony of his clocks. Each tick was a word, each chime a sentence in the story of time passing. But one day, while digging through a dusty corner of his shop, Elias found a clock he'd never seen before. It was antique, ornate, with detailed carvings of stars and moons. Its face shimmered like a patch of the night sky, but it was silent. The hands were frozen. He knew he had to restore it, completely unaware of the secret it was keeping. As he worked on it, he felt a strange hum of energy coming from the clock. It felt alive. It seemed to whisper to him, but in a language he couldn't place. When he finally got it working again, the clock chimed. The sound vibrated deep in his bones, sending a shiver right down his spine. It was a hauntingly beautiful sound, and it echoed out of his shop and into the quiet streets. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. He just sat there in his workshop, the clock ticking steadily next to him. Suddenly, it chimed again. This time, the sound felt like it carried a message. He leaned in, his heart starting to pound as he realized the chimes weren't random at all. They were a melody, a song that seemed to speak of dreams and prophecies. Days became weeks, and the clock kept chiming its strange, prophetic songs. Every night, Elias would sit beside it, completely captivated. He soon learned what the chimes were. They were telling him the dreams of the townsfolk, revealing their deepest fears and secret hopes. The people of the town, of course, had no idea. They went about their lives, comforted by the gentle ticking that had always been there. But as the clock's chimes became more frequent, Elias started to notice a change. The town's peaceful nights were now filled with restless sounds and hushed whispers. People would talk about unsettling dreams they couldn't shake, or shadows they thought they saw just at the edge of their vision. The town's tranquility was fraying at the edges, and a deep sense of dread began to grow in Elias. One night, the clock struck midnight and chimed a melody that was frantic and discordant. It was filled with an urgent warning he'd never heard before. That's when he understood. The clock was a warning. There was something else here, a sleepless being that fed on the town's dreams, and it was starting to stir. His heart hammered in his chest as the truth clicked into place. This clock wasn't just a timepiece. It was a guardian. It was a barrier that kept this entity from breaking through. Every chime held the darkness back, letting the town sleep in peace. But if the clock stopped, the entity would wake, and it would bring chaos. Panic seized him. Elias rushed to the clock, his hands trembling as he examined its delicate inner workings. The fate of the entire town was suddenly resting on his shoulders. He knew one wrong move could be the end of everything. He worked feverishly, his mind racing, feeling like he was in a desperate fight against time itself. In the days that followed, the clock started to fail. Its chimes became weak and sporadic until the steady ticking finally faded into a chilling silence. The townspeople felt it, too. They grew more and more agitated, talking of breathless nightmares and shadows that danced just out of sight. The air was thick with tension. Elias knew it was almost time. Then, one night, as a storm howled outside, the clock stopped completely. The silence that fell over the town was deafening, a crushing void that swallowed everything. Elias's heart leaped into his throat as he felt a tremor run through the floor. It was awake. He could feel its presence in the air, dark, hungry force, ready to consume everything. With a jolt of adrenaline, Elias scrambled to the clock, his hands a blur of frantic motion. He could hear it now with the entity's whispers, 1,000 voices clawing at his mind. They spoke of despair, of lost dreams, of the endless darkness that was coming for them all. He fought against the fear that was trying to paralyze him, forcing himself to focus. As he worked, the shadows in the room twisted and grew, coiling around him like black smoke. The air turned icy cold. He could feel the entity's breath on his neck, a presence that promised nothing but madness. But Elias wouldn't give in. He poured every last bit of his skill and his will into the clock, desperate to bring back its chime. And then, with one final twist of the key, it worked. The clock sprang to life. A single, triumphant chime cut through the darkness. The shadows snapped back, and the whispers vanished. The entity, beaten for now, retreated into the depths of the night. Elias was left breathless, shaking in the sudden silence. When dawn broke, the town slowly began to stir. The storm was over, but a sense of unease still hung in the air. Elias stepped outside, the morning sun casting a weak glow on the cobblestones. People came out of their homes with pale, haunted faces, still shaken by the night's terrors. They looked at Elias, their watchmaker, the man who had pulled them back from the edge of a nightmare. But as they went about their day, a new weight settled on Elias. He'd saved them, yes, but now he knew what was lurking just beneath the surface of their quiet lives. He was the town's guardian now, the keeper of a terrible secret. The clock would keep ticking, but its melody was now a constant reminder of the fragile line between light and dark. In the quiet of his shop, Elias sat before the clock, its rhythmic ticking a small comfort in the chaos he knew was always waiting. He knew he could never really rest again. The entity would always be there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for another chance. The clock was his burden to bear, the price of keeping the silence at bay. And so he sits a prisoner in his own shop, bound to the gentle ticking that is both his life's work and the town's only salvation. Because he knows that while the town sleeps soundly, he never can. If you enjoyed this story and want more tales that mix horror with the quiet sounds of the night, please like this video and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what do you think is really lurking in our dreams? Until next time, I hope your nights are peaceful and your dreams are sweet.